Our founder of town. Now, Captain Moore, he was our founder, so he's part of that statue there in Centennial Park. Up next, this is rotary snowplow number 1. The way it used to work is it would literally ingest the snow, spit it out the top. 2 men would have to stand on top, shoveling snow back in. Now, engine 52 next to it is another original from the Gold Rush era. It ran until the 1930s. But get this, rotary snowplow number 1 ran all the way until 2011. Isn't that incredible? Very long time. Now, folks, over to the right, the Visitor Center for the Klondike Gold Rush National Historical Park. But the whole downtown is actually part of the National Historical Park. And we're parked for one very good reason. We haven't burned to the ground yet. You're probably thinking that's a weird reason. But actually it's not. Most places in the United States from the Gold Rush period, they burned to the ground. And all of our neighbors have 3 to 5 times. So it is kind of miraculous that for whatever reason we haven't burned yet, even though some of our neighbors have already burned 5 times to our none. So kind of cool. But over to the left, some of our original buildings, the Red Onion Saloon. And did you see who's in the top there?
Oh.
We'll call her a lady of negotiable affections. That's my favorite term. But gentlemen, the prices, they're the same. But the services have changed. Now it's just a tour. But I do highly suggest the 20-minute profile tour. If you have time, it's a good thing to fit in. Very fascinating stuff. Also to the left, the AB building stands for Arctic Brotherhood. Over 8,800 pieces of driftwood on that building. It was a fraternal order. Gentlemen would actually help each other get over to the gold fields. Also on the left, the Golden North Hotel, and over on the right, the Mascot Saloon. There's public restrooms around the side of the Mascot if you need them later while you're wandering around town. And also on the left, Miner's Gems, Sweet Tooth Cafe, and the Heart of Broadway. These are all original buildings, but if you're having a hard time figuring out which ones are originals and which ones are not, well, good on us. Because that means we're keeping our authentic flair alive. And we have very strict guidelines here for building. You'll see single pane glass windows, smaller windows on top, and quite often recessed doors. And these are just a few features of Gold Rush architecture. And they suggest if you want to build something here, that you find a picture from the Gold Rush era and model your building after that. Otherwise, simply, you might not be approved. Now, also over to the left, a fine line, due north, and Inspired Arts. These are all local shops. So if you want something local to Southeast Alaska and Alaska in general, that is a good place to go. All actual local artisans. Now, as you can see, Skagway is a bustling metropolis. So we have one bank. It's Wells Fargo to the left. And if you need anything mailed, you can go to the U.S. Post Office, same building, on the other side. We like to say that's our whole business district. It's one building. Yes, Skagway is a massive place. Please don't blink, you'll miss it. Now also, look at the colors in town. What do you suppose of these colors? Aren't they lovely? They're definitely a lot of fun. But one thing you might not expect is that they're authentic too. When the historic park took over the whole downtown, they identified the original buildings, stripped away the layers of paint, and that is what they found. Bright, garish, contrasting colors. The brighter, the better. That was the fad at the time. Now Skagway is 23 blocks long, but I'm going to show you how wide. Look to the right, you'll see the edge of town.